Good afternoon, Ciaran. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your busy schedule and getting involved in our business owner spotlight. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your business?
So my name's Ciaran Connolly. I am originally born in New Zealand, to parents from Galway and Clare in Ireland. I We came over here as a family in 1992. There's like seven of us, seven siblings, and my mum and dad's, and nine came over
Cool.
to see if we wanted to, move over here. The four older brothers and sisters stayed. The rest of us went back. And then in 98, I decided to move back here. I finished the last year of school and then I said to mum and dad, I want to move to Ireland, which they let me. And I came back here and I've been on and off. I've never, I'm now living in Belfast, and this is the longest place that I've lived in since 98. Um, Between New Zealand, America, Europe, and here, because I was touring at one point. So this is the longest place. So I now live in Belfast. Um, I have several businesses here. So I have an entertainment company, the Irish Entertainment Group.
Sure.
I am a part owner with a hair salon, MAC Hair. And we run Airbnbs within Belfast as well. And then I have a touring show in France that I'm a part of.
Cool. Nice, diverse group of businesses there. I'm going to assume you're not in Belfast for the weather, with all those other
Right.
places you've been. But tell us a bit more about some of the companies you're involved in. What would be your ideal customer, say, for the entertainment group? Who would you most like to hear this, or would you like to speak to most?
I'm going to get you just to repeat that last bit because something happened upstairs and I didn't hear you.
Yeah. So who would you most like to speak to, or who would you most like to promote your entertainment group business to?
So entertainment is for everyone.
Sure.
Everyone needs entertainment at some point. Because a lot of people they come to us, clients come to us and they say, I don't know if, you would be right for the company, or I don't know if this is what you do, or do you do this? Do you not do this? We do everything. So
Okay.
when it comes to entertainment, everyone likes to be entertained. Everyone has get-togethers, have parties, have conference, have dinners. Uh, and I think sometimes when you have a group or a gathering of people, it's always nice to make that kind of, you can cut that um to make the event or make the evening just to take the formality out of it. It's nice to have that kind of entertainment value to it. So that's what we bring to any of the events. Everything we do is live. So it's just having that kind of essence of where you are. So a lot of people would be coming into Belfast to use conference spaces, or when it comes to company gatherings or meetings, or Belfast is connected to Ireland, but it's also from the mainland of England. So we get both sides. We get the mainland and
Sure.
then we get the Republic of Ireland. So really, everyone,
So
anyone.
anybody from somebody's having a gathering in their house right up to a corporate function in a.
And we literally do. So even two weeks ago, we had a house party. We had a corporate event in the Titanic building. We were in City Hall. We done a wedding. We done a couple of pubs, um, and then like restaurant, a dinner show styles, and then we were also on the cruise ships. So in a 7 day period, in a week, we can range from, as you just said there, in someone's home all the way up to a corporate event, in the way that we can cater for anything, uh,
Yeah.
down to even a solo artist strumming a guitar. Into last night, 2 nights ago, we just did the Vava Awards, the Influencer Awards in
Yeah.
Belfast, and we had six musicians and eight dancers all in the one opening the event.
Awesome. And so if I was coming to you with an event, you would just have all the connections and help me organize it and take a lot of that time and stress out of it for me then.
So we originally started as that because I'm a dancer by trade, and so we just danced. And then from dancing became musicians. And then from musicians, we had storytellers and actors because we created a Belfast show that we supply to the cruise ships and we supply to the tour companies that come into Belfast.
Yeah.
But so we just started off as just dancers. But at this moment in time, clients come and we will take the drinks reception, music during dinner, the evening performance after dessert into a band, into the DJ. So we will run the entire night from the beginning to the end. And then sometimes certain clients will come in and they're in Belfast for, say, 4 or 5 days, and they want to deal with really just one company or one person. So we would actually have them for the 4 or 5 days and into different entertainment, or not. It's not necessarily just entertainment now either. It would be things that are happening around the city. So we had a client there where we organized paint and pints. So there's a bar down in White's Tavern in Belfast, and they go up and it's a beautiful old. It's one of the oldest buildings. I think all of
Yeah.
the old buildings in Belfast claim they're the oldest, lots of them, but this is one of the oldest taverns. And upstairs, and they're all painting and they're having a drink, and it takes again, it's doing something. When you're in these companies or these corporate companies, it's nice to go and do something that is hands-on.
Yeah.
You can relax, have a drink, or you can have food. So we ended up doing something like that, and that had nothing to do with dancing or music or anything like that, but we were able to set it up and organize it for them.
Very cool. So we really, I mean, again, as you say, it's open to everybody, which is awesome. So, but back to when you moved to Ireland and you said you were a dancer. What was it that made you go into business for yourself in the first place? Why did you go into business instead of just getting a job?
Two things. What I wanted to do wasn't here.
Okay.
So I was like, well, there's a market for it. And two, I didn't want to work for someone else anymore.
Okay, fair enough. So
Let's create the job and see how it goes.
and what's been, like that's been, what, how long have you been in business? Probably, 20, 25 years or something like that, since you
For
moved away.
me,
Yeah.
myself doing what I do, since like since about 2000.
Yeah.
But like here in Belfast, we are IEG, the Irish Entertainment Group. We will be clocking our 10th year consecutively as a full-fledged business.
Brilliant. So what's those last 10 years been like? What's that roller coaster been like?
Um, it is, yeah, it's a roller coaster. Uh, there are times that you want to walk away from it. Like, talking to a lot of people that are in business, that have their own businesses, excuse me, it just never ends. I think that's the time that the one part of it is you're never really off. You're always on the clock because it's your business.
Yeah.
You can put so many things in place and so many people in place to help you and make sure they've got this and this and this and this. But really, at the end of the day, it's not their business. So, it gets to that time of the evening, and they're like, "Done. See you later."
Yeah.
And anything from that point onwards, becomes your responsibility, which is part and parcel of being a business owner. So and then there are other times that none of that really comes into your head whatsoever. But it's just those odd occasions where you're like, God, I'd love a Sunday off.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see
And
your
you do
comfort
have them.
zone.
I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to scare anyone. You do have them. And I
Yeah.
think that's one of the main things, maybe it's something we'll be talking about during this time. And the main thing is your team, like who you have, if you and having them and treating them correctly and making sure that they're happy and they are on board and they have the same vision as you and they want to grow with you. If you have all of them, all of the other stuff does kind of fall to the wayside a wee bit. But being a business owner, being a business owner with several different things is slightly different. And especially when it comes to the Airbnb side of it, which we're not really going to be touching on, but that side of it is quite hard. And we have a guest and the washing machine is broken or the TV's not working or they can't get in the key or they've left a key and blah, blah. So that stuff is the bigger side of like when it comes to the salon and the entertainment company and the touring show. I can nearly take all that. It's the smaller things that just pop up last minute. And I'm like, yep, just grab the kids, gotta fix the key. Again, if you've got the right team and you've got the right people that can help out and all that kind of stuff, but just sometimes people aren't always available, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, there's
So
a couple of things you said there. One question is that, whenever it's like you're never done, you're never off because it's your business.
yeah.
Would you agree that's like a double-edged sword where, yes, it does pile on a lot of pressure, but the other side of that is it's your thing that you're getting to build and you fall in love with.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is that I wouldn't want that to be a scare tactic at all,
Yeah.
or like because it's a double-edged sword. I don't have to. It's my hours, and I can do what I want
Yeah.
to a certain extent.
Sure.
But I'm saying, like, I'm creating what I want to do, and what comes with that is those other parts, and that is part and parcel of the job.
Yeah.
So, you can't have your cake and eat it all the time.
Yeah.
But times where you're like, this is everything is swimming and everything's great and it's all going well. It's just life.
Well, like you said, it's a roller coaster, right? It's up and down and in and out, and it keeps it exciting. The other thing you mentioned,
you do learn from those things. When they happen, every single thing that happens in any part of the business, it is always a learning curve. Like we just did the Vava Awards there for the salon. So the salon was the glam location. We were the glam squad. We were sponsoring. There was so the umbrella was it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing that we were having to do. And then talking to business partner today, and we're just like, right, so what have we learned and what do we know now for next time? And what are we going to register and clock and go, right, so we can do that bit better, or not even we can do it better, but we just have the knowledge of it.
yes.
Because then sometimes anxiety comes from the unknown.
Yeah.
Going like, I actually don't know what's going to happen at this bit, but now we know.
Yeah.
Sometimes when certain things happen, or again, sorry to bring in, but like with the Airbnb of the properties, I now know, okay, right, it just doesn't work.
Not such a big deal to deal with that thing.
Of guests and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's with everything. Any business or any job, it's trial and error until you're like, right, I got the flow. I know but we had to kind of do a couple of these things, couple of tests, try and figure out what's going on, and now I've got the flow of it.
So, what would be if you look back, then what would be like, say, your biggest learning in business? What's the thing you've learned? What maybe you had to learn the hard way. What would be the biggest learning?
Your team, like the people that are around you, make sure that they you treat them the way that you want them to work for you. Like there's that whole thing, do unto others how you want others to do to you, right? It applies in so many different parts of life and in business. But if you are able to, if you have a happy team, you have a happy business. You have a working, functioning business. And I think one of the biggest things to learn is, and also don't react straight away sometimes. Sit on it. They say there's that saying, take 10 deep breaths.
Yeah.
Take 10 laps around the house probably. And then you're able to speak to someone, you're able to deal with a situation with a clearer head.
Yeah.
And I think
it's a bit more logic and less emotion then.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes because when it's your business, emotion is always there. Yeah. You have an emotional attached to every single part of it, down to like the smallest detail, where they wouldn't be looking at that small detail and have such an emotional attachment to it. Because again, as I was saying, look, they clock off at 5 and they're done, or clock off whatever time it is.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting there like, no, why I need that detail is because of this, and this.
Yeah.
So that's why that detail is there. Actually, that's another part of it's communication. Because that's one thing I found, that I know that really small detail there has a knock-on effect for these other 4 things. But I haven't actually divulged the information to the people that are around me. I've just said to them X, Y, and Z, la, 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 la. And then they've kind of overlooked this piece. And I'm like,
yes.
Really important piece. And they're like, you didn't tell me. And I'm like, you're right.
Fair point. Yeah. So
and then you get angry.
So we've touched on a few things: vision, touched on culture. Treat others as you want to be treated, and then communication. And you said there the biggest thing you've learned is your team, but I'm going to assume that you probably don't get to learn that maybe day one, till you build that team up. So I'm thinking a good question would be, if you knew somebody was about to start their business, just start out maybe next month, what's the piece of advice you would give them?
Yes, I know when you were saying there, I'm talking about having a team because when I
Yeah,
started, I didn't have a team.
yeah.
It's actually really really sorry. Can you hear that?
No, I can't.
You can't? Okay. They're cutting upstairs. Uh, it's probably building that team
Yeah,
and also building your relationship with your clients. So when I'm talking about treat, make sure your communication and you're treating everyone really well and all that, that's also with your clients.
sure.
Um, there's it's kind of hard. This is one thing that I do find hard is when I'm setting up teams and having like a team leader,
Sure.
it's quite hard to teach people how to talk to other people.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the hardest parts is that, a tone, your facial,
yeah,
words, vocabulary. So when you're starting off that we're really eager and we want to be like, I'm great at what I do and I really want to sell myself to you. And there's coming in all blazing, or there's just knowing that you're enough, knowing that you and your product is good enough,
yeah,
not underselling yourself, not overselling yourself, and just kind of having that confidence, being able to look in the mirror and be like, right, I've got this today. I am confident in me, in the product or me or what it is that I'm trying to sell. And it's okay if you lose a client and it's okay if they say no. I
yeah.
think it's okay. Because I think at the beginning I was like, damn it. Like I lost
Yeah,
that.
you want to work with everybody, and you're just trying to get, and then that can be counterproductive because you take on maybe clients that aren't a great fit.
Yes. So with the entertainment company, we do say like we can cater for anyone and everything, because it just depends on what it is your event is.
Sure.
And very rare that I've ever said to a client, no, we can't, I can't actually facilitate you, because most of the time I will outsource it.
Yes.
Now this is the other thing. I've been in the business now a while that I'll go, yeah, I know Frank, or I know Susan, or I know, but at
Sure.
the beginning, you would nearly go, yes, I'll do it. And I don't have the connections. I don't know what I'm doing at that point.
Yes.
It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
You'd be like, do you know, I can't fulfill that part of it. But I think we're afraid to say no.
Totally get it.
Yes, and we need to sell, 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 sell.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? I just don't think this was a fit. Amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for taking your time. But we're just gonna part ways. So I think having at the very beginning, knowing your product, knowing you, and being confident that you are enough for what you're trying to sell. It's hard though as well, because
No, it is. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage. But I mean, what I'm taking from this is, have your vision, have your culture, communicate well, know that your product is good, and be confident to say no early on, and start to build your team from day one. I mean, great advice. And
it's okay to say, yeah, it's okay to say no and be okay with it. You
yeah,
will, and also you have two choices pretty much in every single thing you do. Do I have cereal? Do I not have cereal? Do I go a little bit quicker here and get out of the house, or do I not go quicker? Like everything is door A and door
of
B.
course, yeah,
That sometimes we choose door B, or sometimes we choose door A, and then we have realized driving down the road, I'm like,
should have been, yeah,
and that's okay. People put that into a category of regret. And I'm like, well, you had the choice and
yeah,
you chose one. And now we've realized, let's not do that again.
yes,
So I don't know if it needs to jump straight to the dramas of regret, or, right, I did a boo-boo there. Let's
yeah.
just
And then, as you said earlier, learn from it. Then,
learn from it. Yeah. But I have found that I have to, because I was like, okay, learn from that, but I'll keep going. So sometimes writing it down or make a voice note or make a video and just stop the car or stop what you're doing and just do it. I actually made in my phone, you've got your photos and then you've got, you can put them into files or categories.
Yeah.
You've got family, blah, blah, blah. And I've got one learning. And so we'll take a video and I would just say, okay, so I chose door B today and we should have definitely gone with door A, or we should have just calmed down and waited and door A would have just naturally come to us. But I was watching. So, and then you can reflect back on them. And when I say back on them, I don't go back to them like every, at the end of every week. I mean, like a year later, and I'm like, okay, I remember.
It's good, good cadence to do it, and you can look back and see how far you've come then as well, and take confidence from that.
Yeah, that's good as well. Always look. People always say, don't look too far in the future, don't look too far back, but it's always good to look back.
Yeah.
So, okay, right, or well, that's why you have. That's what I'm trying to think of, not stats. I'm kind of like when you're able to look at, okay, so this is what we did this month last year, and you're able to compare, and then okay, well, there's been a dip, or again, if it depends on how long the company's going.
Sure.
Now we know now with IEG, August and May are like the months where we just go hell for leather. I get more musicians and more dancers and more narrators all on board because those are the ones where like we have an influx.
Yeah.
And back down again. And you can only do that by looking back.
Yes.
So sometimes looking back there's a positive in it, and then we're always looking forward. But some people say don't look too far forward.
Yeah, but it's like driving the car. You got to look in the rear view mirror every so often.
Good. Yes. Rear view mirror, side mirrors. You've got a little way of looking back, and you're always looking forward. Yeah.
Well, listen, some great advice, some really practical tips in there as well. So thank you so much for getting involved and sharing that with us, Ciaran. Looking forward to sharing it with everybody else. And thank you again.
No worries.